Hello, YouTube tool enthusiast and hopefully Milwaukee enthusiast. I'm going to do a quick review and a fix for the Milwaukee Jobsite Fan. First, obviously, there's plenty of good reviews out there. Go see the Tools in Action or Real Tool reviews, and there's a variety of other ones that do a really good showing of the fan. My personal experience, this is an outstanding product. The only drawback that I really see is the price. A tad spendy at 80 bucks for a fan versus a couple other brands, and even the parent company that makes Milwaukee that also makes, I believe it's Ryobi, and the other ones that have job site fans that are bringing them out to the market for almost half the price. I really wish it was half the price, but couple things that some of the other guys kind of barely highlighted or forgot. Obviously on the bottom, whoops, here we go. The rubber feet, the mounting holes, which someone finally pointed out but didn't point out the genius of it. Instead of a keyhole, an actual just like keyhole where it really can only go one way, as you can see, this kind of not cross pattern but plus sign pattern where if you get it in there and you can slide it any which way, so you can really mount this in any fashion, which again is just a Milwaukee engineering genius, I guess. They just come up with things like that. They're just great. Usually the other drawback other people highlight is the fact of the plug-in. I can understand contractors that you're always going to have an extension cord handy, and that's nice where at least you don't have to carry this around, but I'm going to show you in a minute a good fix on how to not lose this and attach this to the fan. I personally, at first, that was maybe the one drawback, the only other drawback except for the price I saw. Okay, yeah, you got to figure out what to do with this cord. But at the same time, for my purposes, bringing it indoors quick or camping or something, then I always got to carry an extension cord with. Well, that's kind of a pain in the butt, and even a 10-foot extension cord, sometimes the shortest ones that you could get, is going to be more bulky and bigger than this. So then where do you put that all the time? You got to make sure you got an extension cord handy. So the goods and the bads, obviously, like I said, a lot of people do. The drawback is this. I actually see this as maybe as the advantage. It's nice and small, and we can figure something out to do this. Instead of complaining about stuff, figure out solutions, right? Like a lot of others have highlighted, I like the battery mount in front. Then you can check the gauge. I saw some other ones where they're put on the back, and they're just a little cumbersome. But again, you're wondering, do I spend 80 bucks on this fan? It kind of depends on the application. We bring this camping. I got this for a different kind of job where it's in a vehicle with no AC, and you need something battery operated anyways. So if you really want to see the run times and other things, obviously go to the other reviews or go to Milwaukee's. And again, depends on what battery you're throwing in there. So like others have stated, there's 4 selectors off, 1, 2, 3. 1 is a pretty good speed if you're relatively close. 2 for most applications probably is going to be what you might use maybe the most, between 1 and 2. 3, like they said, 3 is turbo mode. They just went from 1, 2 to what the heck, basically, on the selector, which is not a complaint for me, because sometimes you need to move some air. Turn that down. As far as the distance goes, I can almost feel this across my over 20-foot length garage. If I stand on the other end, you can feel the air moving. So it's nice if you just, for some reason, need a portable fan and to move air. That'd be great if you're gonna set it and you just need to move air, whether it's maybe drying something out in a spot where you can't get in the regular fan. It's a great idea. Alright, so I get my experiences with the fan. It's great. And obviously, like I said, bringing it camping, you don't have to bring a big, even a small pedestal fan. It takes up a lot of space. If you pause, you can hear people calling my name. Alright, resuming. Like I said, nice small bring camping where it's inside the camper or even outside the camper. It's not taking up big space. And obviously the advantage of, especially if you want to bring it outside quick, outside the camper, battery operated so you don't have to find an outlet, which is nice. Now on to showing you the trick of mounting this so you don't lose it. Alright, the trick is and another thing that no one's pointed out is the nice strap that they do include to keep the cord wrapped up with the adapter. If you can focus here, when you wrap this around, you're going to have to do a kind of a 2-layer as your first layer so you don't get it too thick. I found if you do this, it'll wrap around 3 times and that gets to be just a tad too thick then. So do 1 wrap, 2 wraps side by side, and then your 3rd wrap that has the sticky Velcro side, stick that across. I'm sure there might be other products or other of this command strips that would work, but this is, let's highlight it, is, if I can focus, or not, oh, for crying out loud, the picture frame hanging variety, there we go, of the command brand strips. I'm going to end up shaving that part off because I'm not hanging on the wall. And if I need to take it off, whoop-de-doo. But, oh, I should have. Here's one side of it. It's not the Velcro, it's more the kind of the stick-together variety, however you want to call that. I'm going to end up cutting this in half, putting a strip here, and then rotating it and putting it there and there, and I'll show you how well it's going to work. Alright, we're back as it's attached. You kind of roll it up as it kind of came from the factory loop-wise, and I stick it through the prongs to kind of half protect that or whatever. But otherwise, like I said, you can kind of see the double doing the side by side, and then that wrapped around gives it just the right thickness. There we go. So when you put the command strips on there, that's the right thickness. And it works perfectly. I'm going to keep it in this position just so, and I'm not going to start ripping it off and on because you're supposed to let it sit for a certain amount of time so it gets a good bond. But like I said, well, there's 2 complaints usually on the fan. One's usually the price, and that nothing you can do to get away with it, except to stay on Amazon, or actually so far sellers on eBay are still cheaper at. I grabbed this one for 79 bucks. But the usually number 2 complaint is this cord, and obviously, as you can see, found a solution. I was hoping there'd be a different spot, like, you know, even if you could tuck it up in the handle or something like that. Not quite. It's a small little transformer. It's nice, but not small enough. Not sure why no one else has thought of this, but I guess I'm just a genius. So there's a solution to the cord problem of the Milwaukee Jobsite Fan. Any questions or comments? I'll try to keep it updated and make sure. Obviously, if you're ripping this thing off and on a daily basis, I'm not sure how long these would stay on. If you're going to do that on a daily basis, I'd recommend doing a big strip on the fan side, maybe a slightly smaller one, just so there's less of the tearing. And it should last a tad bit longer, but I did full length because hopefully we'll see what works. And if I got to modify it, I guess I got a whole pack of this stuff. So thanks for watching. Again, you will not be disappointed in getting this fan, especially if you already have the rest of the Milwaukee lineup. It's a great addition. Thank you and have a good day.